So here we have this O-School edge banding iron. Now I use this to put edge banding on all these drawers here. It worked pretty well, so let me give you a closer look at it and then I'll show you how it works. Alright, so the iron comes with this little metal stand. It works great to set the iron on while it's heating up, and it also comes with this cotton sock to fit over the iron. The heating plate on the iron is about 2 3/8 inches by about 4 5/8 inches. It has about a 5-foot cord, and then a few buttons along with this small screen to show you what settings you're at. Let's go ahead and press this button to turn it on. Then we can use the plus and minus arrows to change the temperature. Once you set the temperature to where you want it, it shows the current temperature. And you can change the Celsius to Fahrenheit by holding the on-off button for 3 seconds. And the max temperature in Fahrenheit is 392 degrees. Starts heating up really fast, takes less than a minute to get the full temperature. So yeah, I'm gonna let this thing heat up all the way and then I'll give you a quick demonstration. I'm just gonna take the edge banding here, make it a bit longer than it, and then snap it apart. Of course, if you wanna make it look a little nicer, you could use scissors, but we're gonna end up cutting it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Take the edge banding iron and run it across it a few times, and it'll slowly heat up the glue on the bottom side of the edge banding and glue it to the plywood. And you want to make sure you're using a bit of pressure here so it seats nicely on the plywood. And something I like to do is to kind of take it at an angle like this on the edges, and that just helps give it a cleaner edge when I cut it. So now I'm just going to let this sit for a few minutes until the top is cool, and then I'll come back and trim off the edges. Alright, so the glue's probably set by now. I'm going to take this cutter and trim off the edges. That looks pretty nice. It's not perfectly flush though, so I like to take some sandpaper and go back along those edges to make it nice and smooth. And the edge banding I use doesn't have any finish on it, so I gotta go back and seal it anyway. And yeah, now the plywood looks a little more like a solid chunk of wood. Looks pretty nice. They do recommend using the sock on the iron so it doesn't scorch the wood, but I had this up to full temperature, and as you can see, the edge banding looks just fine. And when I did try to use the sock before, it just made it take way too long. And if somehow you are burning the edge banding, then just move the iron a little bit faster. So yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this. It works really well and it's super easy to use.